Do you ever like try to call oh, my eyebrow. You ever try to call a friend and they don't pick up? So you're like, all right, I'll try to call my other friend. And then they don't pick up and you're like, man, who can I call right now? And you're like, yeah, I haven't talked to him and I'll call him. And then you try to call him, but you're like, he's in a different time zone. And then you try to call someone else and they don't pick up. And you're like, man, I went through all my friends right now. All of them are busy and can't pick up. And you're just like, wow, I'm truly alone in this world. All right. I like to make INTERROVLOGs in the car. I think it's because I'm so bored while driving that I need to do something with my time, so I figure I'll make a video. In this vlog, I'm gonna be talking about consumption. And no, I'm not talking about that 18th century disease known as consumption. I am talking about consumption of media. I don't really listen to music that much, to be honest, and that's been true for the past few years. I used to listen to music a lot. When I was in high school, I'd be listening to music all the time. I'd always be looking for new bands to listen to. I would literally just download all their music and listen to it. I'd be like, oh, now I know what that band's about. And I had an iPod. Remember iPods? It was a iPod Classic. I want to say like a 2010 model, so it was fairly like, that's already 10 years old, but it wasn't like a first generation iPod Classic, but it had like 160 gigs and I would store everything on there, and it was just convenient knowing like I have everything I need to listen to on my iPod, whatever it is. But it broke and I was like, I ain't paying for Spotify, I ain't paying for Apple Music. So I tried out the trials and stuff, but I've noticed that if I don't have the actual music on my iPod, like I don't really listen to it for some reason. I have Spotify now and I don't really use it that often. I've also found it harder to get into bands like I used to. Like I haven't found a band that I'm like, man, this band is sick. I love this band. I'm a huge fan. It just doesn't happen anymore. I come across a new artist and I'll be like, oh man, their production is sick. Or wow, they write really good lyrics. Or yeah, that's a cool sound. But I haven't found a band in such a long time where I'm like, man, I want to listen to that on repeat. I just haven't. And I don't know if that's because I'm getting older and maybe it's just harder for me to like obsess over a band. But that doesn't really feel like the right answer. I think maybe the most obvious reason is like I have a sound in my head for Punkowski and all I really want to do is make that sound happen. And really, I guess I've become the band I obsess over. And everything else, like I don't care to listen to anything else. Like why would I listen to any other band when there's a band in this world that will literally make a song for my exact situation and exactly the way I want to hear it? And that band is obviously me. So I know that's kind of weird to say, but that's what I mean. I like Punkowski is all I really need. So I don't really listen to music. Where am I getting to with all of this? I listen to podcasts so often. That's really it. I don't listen to music in the car. I listen to podcasts. It distracts me from the road so I don't have to like get mad, get road rage. Also, I get to learn a lot. I listen to podcasts about music or like how to market your music better, music softwares, rhetoric, business. They're obviously long form content, so the podcast might be like an hour, so it lasts me a few drives. I like it though because I know I want to consume that, but if I were to do that at home, it'd be a huge waste of time because at home I could be working on music, I can be designing something, practicing for a show, like there's actual physical things I could do. But in a car, you really can't do much. You can't write a poem I guess you could if you say it out loud, but you can't like type on a laptop in a car. You're in a fucking car, what are you doing? But what you can do is listen to stuff. The other thing you can do is film videos like this one. The thing is I drive so often. To make money, I tutor English and I drive to every student I tutor. Driving from one house to another, and then maybe I have an open mic that's like 30 minutes away. So I'm doing all this driving and I was like, man, I like, it's literally hours of my day sometimes. How can I make this more? And I was like, well, maybe I can just make videos like the one I'm making right now. And then I take these videos and I edit them, cut them down real tight so that way there's no fluff, and then I release it and hopefully there's a cool concept in it that like somebody else might find interesting. So that's one way I make my car rides more worth my while. I feel like this, I have some good things in this take, but a lot of it is scattered. I went from talking about getting into bands to the podcasts I listen to now why and how I make these INTERROVLOGs. I may not release it like this. I may have to re-record these concepts. Maybe the next INTERROVLOG will be cooler. I shouldn't say that. I should say, this one's fucking awesome. See you on the next fucking awesome one. but I'm too realistic to believe that.
You try to